You spend $200 to have a professional lug a massive, loud, wet extraction machine into your bedroom. You watch that dark, murky water rush through the clear plastic nozzle. It looks incredibly satisfying, right? It feels like actual magic. But here is the terrifying truth the upholstery cleaning industry desperately hopes you never figure out. By paying for that deep, wet clean, you didn't just clean your mattress. You likely just planted a biological ticking time bomb directly beneath where you sleep. I know that sounds dramatic. I know you're probably thinking, yeah, okay, clickbait. But stay with me for the next few minutes, because I'm going to show you exactly why that satisfying wet vacuum is secretly ruining your bed, and how true luxury hotels and high-end upholstery conservators actually clean mattresses for about $4. The chemistry is real, the physics are proven. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to permanently erase old yellow sweat stains, dissolve urine residues, and pull deep-set odors out of your mattress without ever soaking the bed. Let me show you how this actually works. Here is what gets most people in trouble. They treat a mattress like a kitchen counter. You see an ugly yellow stain, you grab a damp cloth, a squirt of multi-purpose spray, and you start scrubbing for your life. From a mechanical standpoint, this is literally the worst possible thing you can do. Think about the physics of a kitchen sponge. When you press a wet, soapy cloth down into the soft fabric of a mattress, the pressure forces the liquid and the dissolved dirt straight downward. When you lift your hand, the foam expands, sucking that dirty moisture even deeper into the core of the bed. You aren't removing the stain, you're just diluting it and pushing it into the dark where you can't see it. Even worse, the suds you leave behind dry into a sticky chemical residue that acts like a magnet for future dust. And this brings us to the wet extraction machines, the ones the pros use. A modern mattress isn't just a block of foam. It is a highly engineered, deeply woven structure. You've got the breathable fabric surface, a dense fire barrier, inches of memory foam or latex, and structural cores. All of these materials share one dangerous trait: incredibly strong capillary action. Once liquid breaches the surface, it aggressively travels deep into the microscopic air pockets of the foam. Even if a professional cleaner uses an industrial vacuum with thousands of watts of suction, the laws of physics dictate that over 30% of that moisture will stay trapped physically inside those deeper layers. The vacuum can only pull water from the top inch. It cannot reach the core. And what does that trapped moisture do deep inside a dark, unventilated block of foam? It mixes with shed human skin cells, body oils, and organic nutrients to create a warm, fully insulated microclimate. Congratulations! You have just built a luxury resort for aggressive mold colonies, explosive dust mite populations, and odor-producing bacteria. This is exactly why so many people notice that 2 to 3 weeks after a so-called deep clean, their mattress suddenly starts emitting a faint, sour, musty smell. Or they wake up with unexplained skin irritation and a stuffed-up nose. The surface looks pristine, but a microscopic ecosystem is absolutely thriving just inches beneath their face. So, how do the actual pros do it? They use the dry extraction method. It relies on chemical breakdown followed by physical extraction. Human sweat and urine are incredibly stubborn because they aren't just dirt. They are complex organic compounds made of proteins, salts, lipids, and highly concentrated uric acid crystals. Regular household soaps just smear this stuff around. They cannot break the organic bonds. To destroy the stain, you need to alter its molecular structure, and that is where standard 3% hydrogen peroxide comes in. When hydrogen peroxide hits an organic stain, an immediate chemical reaction triggers. It starts to fizz. Those tiny white bubbles are pure oxygen gas being rapidly released as the peroxide physically breaks down the cellular walls of the organic matter. It actively destroys the proteins and oxidizes the pigments that cause that gross yellow ring. But here is the absolute most critical key to this entire process, the part you cannot mess up. We are not soaking the mattress. We are using a highly controlled superficial micromist. If you just spray the peroxide and walk away, that broken down organic soup will just dry back into the fabric and eventually oxidize into an even bigger water ring. The broken down dirt needs an escape route. And that is why the second ingredient is the real star of the show. Most people think baking soda is just a cheap box you throw in the back of the fridge to stop it from smelling like onions. But in textile conservation, sodium bicarbonate is a highly effective dry extraction agent. At a microscopic level, baking soda has a jagged, highly porous, crystalline structure. It acts like millions of microscopic sponges. Because it is highly alkaline, it instantly neutralizes the foul-smelling acidic molecules in sweat and urine. When you apply a thick layer of baking soda over a slightly damp peroxide-treated stain, it creates a powerful wicking effect. As the top layer of the baking soda dries out in the ambient air of your bedroom, capillary action naturally draws the moisture from the mattress upward into the powder, and it drags the dissolved dirt, the broken down proteins, and the neutralized acids right up with it. No aggressive scrubbing, no smearing the stain, no deep moisture forced into the core of your bed. The contaminants are literally pulled out of the fabric and locked safely inside the drying powder. Here is where it gets really interesting. And for those of you who aren't subscribed yet, my analytics show a huge chunk of you watching right now aren't. If understanding the actual science behind everyday home maintenance saves you money and makes your life better, hit subscribe. I cut through the marketing noise every single week. Okay, let's walk through the actual step-by-step method, because execution matters. Step 1, the micro mist breakdown. Get a fine mist spray bottle. Do not pour liquid directly onto the bed. Mix standard 3% pharmacy-grade hydrogen peroxide with exactly 1 tiny drop of clear liquid dish soap. That single drop of soap is crucial. It breaks the surface tension of the peroxide, so it coats the fibers evenly instead of beating up and rolling off. Lightly mist the stained area. The surface should feel slightly cool and damp to the touch, never wet. If you press your finger into it and water pools up, you used way too much. You'll see that faint white bubbling almost instantly. For a really hardened old stain, take a soft toothbrush and tickle the top fibers in rapid light circles. Don't press down into the foam, just agitate the surface. Step 2, the powder coverage. Immediately sprinkle a generous layer of baking soda right over the damp area. Do not be stingy here. You want a solid, opaque layer about 2 millimeters thick. It should look like it just snowed on your mattress. The stain should be completely hidden. And then you walk away. Leave it for a minimum of 4 to 8 hours. Overnight is even better. While you are doing absolutely nothing, a massive chemical extraction is happening. When you come back, you might notice the bright white powder has turned faint yellow or formed hard, crusty clumps. Don't panic. That is visual proof that the embedded sweat and urea have been sucked out of your bed and trapped in the powder. Step 3, the vacuum extraction. Take your household vacuum cleaner, ideally one with a motorized brush head and a sealed HEPA filter, so you aren't just blowing microdust back into the air. Move it incredibly slowly over the powder. The vibration of the brush will part the fabric fibers, loosening the crusty baking soda, and the suction will permanently remove it from your environment. The fabric underneath will be bright, clean, and most importantly, 100% bone dry. You can put your sheets on and go to sleep immediately. Stick with me here, because I want to talk about a critical mistake people make that actually makes me a little angry: the fragrance trap. People are desperate for a clean smell, so they blast their mattresses with commercial linen perfumes, aerosol room sprays, or Febreze. This is a massive mistake. Look at the ingredients. Synthetic perfumes are oil-based. When you spray them on fabric, they dry into a microscopic, sticky film. You're literally spraying a dirt magnet onto your bed. Plus, the high alcohol content in those sprays prematurely degrades memory foam, causing it to dry rot and crumble over time. And it doesn't even clean anything. The bacteria is still there. It's just wearing a cheap floral perfume. If you want your bed to smell amazing, wait until the dry extraction is completely finished. Then, take 1 single drop of pure lavender or tea tree essential oil and rub it on the very corner piping of the mattress. It won't coat the sleeping surface, it has natural antimicrobial properties, and it smells incredible. What about dust mites? Someone in the comments is going to bring up dust mites. Here's the reality. You aren't allergic to live dust mites. You're allergic to their decaying shells and their microscopic waste. When you use a wet cleaning method, the water acts as a vehicle, washing those microscopic allergens deeper into the foam where you can never vacuum them out. Dry extraction fixes this. The heavy baking soda physically encapsulates those microscopic particles. When you vacuum the powder, you're permanently removing the allergens from the bed, not just pushing them around. And by the way, once you understand this method, you realize it works everywhere. Fabric sofas with that dark, greasy headrest buildup, dry extraction, dog or cat pee on the rug. This aggressively breaks down those uric acid crystals that expensive enzyme cleaners fail to fix. Car seats baked in the hot sun, it pulls the stale odors right out. So if this works so well, why isn't it widely promoted? Because the industry cannot effectively monetize a $1 bottle of peroxide and a $2 box of baking soda. There are no massive profit margins here. They can't sell you a $400 extraction machine or proprietary brightly colored chemical shampoo or a recurring, expensive home service. To really protect your investment long term, just do 3 things. Rotate your mattress 180 degrees every 3 months so it wears evenly. Keep the bare foam out of direct, harsh sunlight, because UV rays destroy the chemical bonds in latex and memory foam. And once every 6 months, do a dry extraction. You will easily add 5 to 10 years to the life of your mattress. You're not just cleaning a piece of furniture, you're actively optimizing the environment where you spend 1/3 of your entire life. When you finally lie down on a mattress that has been scientifically dry cleaned, when there is no hidden dampness chilling your back, no lingering sour odor, and no invisible ecosystem thriving beneath you, you will feel the physical difference immediately. That is the profound power of understanding the underlying physics and chemistry of your home Try this weekend. Take a before and after photo. I genuinely believe you're going to be shocked. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the hardest thing to clean in your house right now? Is it the mattress, the living room couch, or those weird stains on your car seats? I read every single comment, and your answers shape what I dive into next. The secret wasn't a $200 machine. The secret was just making sure you never thought to ask the right questions.